Hi there, hope you're all doing well. This week I get the new big bad for the current Age of Fantasy campaign painted up. This is the Wood Elf Yrana. She was black and white zenithally primed, and to get started went over the cape with Contagion green for the base coat. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You could also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been hobbying on. Getting in the mid-tone on the cape now, I went around with Zombie Rot and brought all of these parts up, just leaving that darker tone in the shadows and recesses. For the edges and the tops of the folds, I grabbed Pestilence green and just touched these parts up. Next up, I get the skin base coated with Elven skin. Adding a highlight to the skin, I went with a quick touch up of Elf Skintone, which is fairly similar to Elven skin. It's just enough of a variation that it's nice and subtle. The base staff and remaining fabric now get a quick once over with burnt umber. For the neckpiece and feathers, I used rust orange to start with. I'm going for a more decay and dying look on this mini, so I figured leaves tend to turn orange and brown as they die. Getting the skull and the claws on the staff done, I went with Skeleton Legion. I want some variation on the wood, so I went around with temple stone and added the wood grain texture in. Her eyes and ropes on the staff get brought up with grimy grey. For the first highlight on the orange parts, I went with Fanatic Orange, just picking up the edges and some of the areas getting hit by the light. While the orange dries, I used Doom Death Black for her hair and base rim. Before going back to the orange, since it's so close to that wet black paint still, I used Panzer yellow for the liquid gooey bits on her cape instead. Now to finish off the orange, I lightly brushed on some Manticore Ochre, just to make the edges and tips pop out that little bit more. The gooey bits now get a quick highlight with Flak gun yellow. Her hair was a little flat looking for my liking, so I grabbed dark sea green and just added in some highlights on a few of these strands. The small amount of metal parts all get done with Doom Metal. Now onto the wash. I wash everything with a Necrosis green wash. The idea for this is giving everything a sickly green look, since the campaign is called Heart of the Rot. So it kind of makes sense that everything's slowly dying and the big bad is going to be slowly dying. To finish up, I added some muddy ground texture paste to the base, around her feet and the bottom of her cape. And that was it for Yrana. She was pretty easy to get painted up. I think the wash might have been a little bit too much on the skin. If I was to paint her again, I'd just paint her skin a way more more simply, and it looks a bit more sickly without that green tint to it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You can also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been hobbying on. For those of you who are looking to pick up any hobby supplies or some new minis, check out my affiliate link in the description. There is no additional cost to yourselves, I just get a small commission to help pay for my own paint supplies. If you found this video useful or enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like or subscribe for more content. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.